Would the children please come forward? When I was little, I felt really lucky because I had a very best friend. I was new to town. It was my first day of school, and I walked into the classroom, and my teacher led me over to the empty desk. She pulled out the chair, and she said, "You get to sit next to Carrie. I have a feeling you'll be really good friends." Well, it turns out that we were. Carrie lived in the neighborhood right across the street from me, and so we got to ride on the bus together every day. When I'd get on, I'd look for her, and I'd go sit right next to her. And then we'd get off the bus, and we'd walk side by side into school, and we'd play, and we'd learn, and then on the bus ride home, we'd make big plans for our evenings. And almost as soon as I was off the bus, I'd be on my bike, walking across the busy road, and then riding through her neighborhood. We'd ride side by side around the neighborhood, singing songs, making up stories, trying to get away from the boys that lived in that neighborhood. If I was lucky, I'd get to make a phone call home to my mom and dad and ask if I could stay for dinner. Carrie's mom made this Polish dish that was stuffed cabbages. And even though it was not my favorite, I would stay for dinner just so I could sit next to Carrie and we could keep having fun. This went on for years. We continued to ride the bus together and walk across the street to each other's house. When we got old enough, we'd have sleepovers. She went to camp with me, and I would go in the summertime. I'd ride in the back of her mom's station wagon to the next town over, and we'd swim in her grandma's pool together. And we would dream of building a huge bridge from her house to my house that would cross the busy road in the shape of a rainbow so that we could run back and forth whenever we wanted to. The summer before 6th grade, I got some really bad news that Carrie's family would be moving to a different neighborhood. They'd still be in our town, but I just had a feeling that things would be different. We wouldn't be sitting next to each other on the bus. We wouldn't be walking into school together. Would we be playing as much as we did? Would she still be my friend because she didn't live right next to me? I just had this feeling that things would be different. Before Jesus dies, he tells his disciples a commandment, and that's something that he wants them to do. He says to love one another. And I think one of the best ways to love one another is to be a good friend. Carrie was a good friend to me. She never boasted or made me feel bad about myself. She didn't drag me down. She always just came alongside me, and we lived life together. If I had a problem, she'd be right there to help me with it. If someone else was making me feel bad, she would stick up for me. And that summer before 6th grade, I worried that things would change and that maybe we wouldn't be as good of friends anymore. The first day of 6th grade came, and I got on the bus, and of course I knew Carrie wasn't going to be there. I scooted into a seat all by myself. I rode to school worried about the big walk into the middle school all by myself. But when I got off the bus, Carrie's bus had already gotten there, and she was waiting for me outside. And we got to walk side by side into middle school together. Carrie and I continued to be friends for a long time. In fact, we're even still friends today. We continue to support each other through good times and bad times, never boasting, making anybody else feel worse about themselves, just being side by side together in our friendship. I hope that you have a good friend like that, and I hope that you can be a good friend like that. And if you don't, just keep your eyes open. A friend will show up. They're all around. God's love is all around us, looking for ways to show up in your life. And we just have to keep our eyes open for ways that we can love one another and be good friends to each other. See you soon.